here's what I'll say. I am both angry and so happy that this is a thing that's happened. Because so out of a whim, I watched the first Blackwell Ghost. Like,
Wait a minute.
what?
You were opening up our extra long TBR report episode, and you're just jumping right into the Blackwell Ghost.
Yeah.
No, you know how this fucking works.
No, this is the Thursday episode. This is what we do with Thursday episodes. Thank you
No.
very much. I'm following the format that I fucking invented.
No, excuse me. You know how it begins. It sounds like you were fucking underwater.
That's how I do it every time.
Move the mic closer.
Air, dude. Oh, is it not? Okay.
Yeah. Also,
I don't have my hands.
I'm so glad to finally share a TBR report with you.
Oh my gosh, me too. This is my first time on.
The first time on your own segment.
Yes.
You really are the lifeblood of it. And I had no expectations when we went on this journey, but man, you've been crushing it, dude. And thank you.
Well, I'm like watching like maybe 4 or 5 found footage movies every day.
Do you have a job? What do you do?
I'm a video editor, so like half the time during the day I'm just, rendering and exporting or uploading something, and there's a lot of like just waiting time. So I don't know if you can, I know we're not doing like video, but but y'all can, see me right now at least.
Thomas, you're ruining the show.
Sorry.
Ruining the show.
Well, what I'm trying to say is I have like 4 computers in here and 1 computer for basically everything. So I'm always kind of running a movie in the background like all day.
It looks like you're like minting Bitcoin in that room or something. There's many computers.
Yeah. A lot of mirrors, a lot of computers.
A perfect room for a true voyeur like yourself.
It's my little editing bay.
No, but dude, really, like, yeah, I don't know. You've recommended. I've been humbled so much by this endeavor, and even, I mean, me and Clark kind of make a joke out of it every time somebody comes on the show that loves found footage, and we're like, "All right, test us." And I feel like we normally get checked, but you've done it royally. And yeah, I don't know, when we had an opportunity to have you on to we're recapping what 10 segments. It's really not a lot, but I don't know. I'm very excited to hang out and talk with you about it.
Me too. I'm glad I've been sending good recommendations to y'all. Like, I'm glad y'all like them.
Yeah. Now, when I saw the Blackwell Ghost, I got a little worried because my mom actually showed that to me. Like, fuck. Actually, when it came out, I think in 2017, and at the time, the director wasn't doing any interviews. What's the dude? I feel like I should have done some research. Yeah. Does he talk about the films at all now?
No, I don't. Well, I don't. That's a good question. I don't think so. He has like a website, blackwellghost.com or something like that, and he has like a Facebook social media. So he does like some interacting on there, but I don't think I've ever seen a single interview. I think he's trying to like, keep the narrative alive, and it's, there's a lot of folks that think this is real.
He's playing the game, dude, and like you can follow that narrative throughout the movie. Because it goes, he quotes the Facebook page, and he's definitely playing the game, man.
Yeah. Well, y'all already saw the first one, so it opens up with like another found footage film where they find this like ghost sighting at a hotel or something like that, and you see like Turner Clay like talking about it in the film, but I have reason to believe that he was the one that like made that viral like video, which was actually a viral video that came out, I don't know, whenever it did, but I almost feel like that was Turner Clay's like start into making like found footage content.
Oh, that would make total sense.
When my mom showed it to me, like this was back when we were still doing the Overlook thing, and I would have 5 people over and we watch a movie and review it. She brought that to the table, and when it started and I saw that video, instantly, like, so during the TBR report, I've kind of like discovered what makes a found footage audience a found footage audience. And it's really the willingness to kind of like, I understand that you're going to watch a fictional narrative, but be down to enter their reality or their version of it and just kind of roll with it. And man, the Blackwell Ghost, he does the best job. These films really walk that line through. I mean, me and Clark have watched 4 of them now, and he doesn't miss a beat.
No, he's so good. And like, they're subtly scary, like I don't know, I don't know if it's a spoiler to say, but there's like no violence in the movie at all.
Even though there is a warning. Like I think before the 4th one it said violence and language were the rating, which was weird because I'm like, isn't this like an independent film? Who's rating it anyway?
Well, see, that's why I think it's interesting that he's decided to bleep out all the curses.
Yeah. It's a choice, I think, maybe for the algorithm, just to put like maybe it's family content.
Yeah, see, man, that's what I'm saying. Like everything is mapped out here. See, all right, so back what I was saying. I watched the first one a couple months ago and had no expectations, and I knew that all I knew was like, okay, there's like 37 of these Blackwell Ghosts. I've never seen it. I'll watch the first one, and it was okay. It was fine. I had no major problems with it. I was just like, yeah, for what it is, I enjoyed this. And then Russell told me we got to do this thing where we got to fucking watch all of them. I was like, God damn it, I don't want to watch all of these. And now I'm fucking hooked. So fuck you all. I'm in like neck deep, dude. They have only gotten better.
I do. That's my thought too. So my girlfriend got me onto this. Like she was like, "You need to see the Blackwell Ghost." I think it was a little over a year ago that I got introduced to this, and I watched the first one too, and I thought, it was just okay, like totally on the same boat. And then I just kept. I think that night we watched like 1, 2, and 3 like back to back, and 4 wasn't even out yet. So we tried binge watching it all, and man, it really does just keep getting better.
I'm kind of shocked that y'all weren't taken by the first one. Now, when I watched the first one, I was kind of struck. Now, okay, so again, Clark, this was my idea. I'm glad you came around to it. But in the original TBR report for number 10, Thomas had reached out and said, watch part 3. And he's like, I don't know if you've seen 1 or 2, but just go right to 3.
3's my favorite so far.
And I'd seen 1, and I'm like, you know what? Fuck it. Like, we had a guest drop. It's like, dude, let's just do them all. So I'd kind of like to take the time and move through them chronologically. And again, I'm kind of shocked y'all weren't more taken by how unique the first movie was. Like, if we look at the runtime,
but Russ, not a whole lot happens.
That's fair, but I would
it's an hour-long movie.
That is, I would say, a genre of found footage, though.
I'm with you again, and look, I thought it was cool. He flew his own airplane.
Oh, I told you.
I was like, wait, what's happening?
Well, it instantly made the movie noteworthy right there. It's like, oh, the movie where the dude flew his own plane.
But see, now the plane, I'm wondering where the plane is now.
Right, don't get ahead. Don't get ahead.
I have to get ahead.
Now, in the first one, there are a number of like unique things. So I've been reading a lot about the Blair Witch and how people call that like slow failure cinema. Like it's a movie where everything fails from the beginning to the end. I mean, as far as character perspective. And it's really like a downbeat kind of depressive narrative. And we kind of touch on that here where there's not a lot of happy notes. Like, I mean, should we set this up better, or are we going to assume that people know the Blackwell Ghost?
We should probably set it up, dude.
All right.
We're a professional goddamn outfit.
What's his name? Turner Clay?
Yeah.
All right. So we open up. If you were Ted Turner Clay. If you're like most people, you're probably perusing Amazon and you're like, I'm feeling ballsy tonight. I'm going to watch this movie with this crappy poster, which looks like a dime store novel, but there's never went to publishing, and it went right onto Amazon, and it probably never would be published. And it looks like some free domain, like old timey picture. And it's like, yeah, that's a ghost movie. And yeah, again, there's like some old Renaissance looking lady on the cover, and you jump in there for whatever reason. And we open up, we are introduced to Turner Clay. He's a self-described filmmaker. His career up until this point had been making zombie films, which they showed like clips of zombie movies. And what was that? Was that 28 Days Later? Or I doubt it, but do you know Thomas?
I know. No, I don't. I know his one feature he made. Like, he was showing it in like 2 or 3. It was
Yeah, and two.
Raccoon Valley.
Raccoon Valley. Yeah.
Which is that like a play off of Resident Evil,
Has to be.
right?
I know his wife is like the lead cast in that movie,
Whoa, we got another Rob Zombie on our hands.
and she's in the first Blackwell Ghost as well. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
She like did an investigation with him.
Okay, now he opens up by talking about wanting to get out of making zombie movies, and I don't blame him. At the 2017 was not the, it wasn't the most unique or fresh idea. And he starts talking about having a lead on a viral video. The viral video, I don't know what it was originally called, but I remember seeing it. It featured a security guard at a hotel going into a room. We're in a hallway security camera from where we see, and he goes in, and his radio kind of cuts, and like a ghostly figure that looks like, you photoshopped somebody walking, and you make them really opaque, and they move across the screen. And then a light flickers and the dude comes out and he's like, nobody was in there, but call the police. All the furniture was flipped upside down.
Yeah, and that video is on YouTube. You can find it. It's called Ghost Screaming in Haunted Hotel.
Does any of that happen? Does the ghost scream?
I don't know. Good question.
It doesn't in the movie.
It's like the first video that is posted up on his channel, like Jimmy Nut 22, and
Nut.
The video was posted like 8 years ago.
Yeah, dude. And honestly, I'll tell you, in the pursuit of verisimilitude, that hooked me right in the beginning. Was like, oh, I know this video. We're gonna use that as a jumping off point.
Yeah, I heard of it. I had heard of that video like way before the Blackwell Ghost as well.
Go ahead, Clark. It looked like you were gonna jump in there.
The timing's off now.
Oh, come on, give us the punchline anyway.
Do Ghost Scream sounds like something an emo teen Randy wrote as a poem.
He should have workshopped it more.
I know. Well, see, you fucked it up. It's your fucking fault.
Anyway,
You take the hit for that.
So I'll tell you. You know what the beginning of the Blackwell Ghost reminds me of is Butterfly Kisses, where we kind of have a narrator who's self-deprecating right off the bat. He laments about having to explain to his journalism teacher that he's now a ghost hunter. Like, he really comes in hard against ghost hunters in the beginning. And I think in a found footage film, that's always a good way to endear your audience, is to kind of point out the elephant in the room and be like, this is kind of dumb.
It's also accurate.
Yeah, it is, totally. And the thing is, he's a really likable dude. And without that key feature, none of these movies work. But from there, he's talking to the guy he has one phone call with him in where the dude refuses to admit that it was fake and is pretty earnest about it being real. From then on, he can't get a hold of his contact, John, and he gets a new lead after posting in a ghost forum that he's looking for paranormal footage. And he finds something he likes that is out in Pennsylvania, and he's offered to come over and come check out the house. And he's like, okay, I'll be over there. I have a plane. And he kind of says that pretty quick, and you're like, excuse me? And then his wife comes in, and he's like, hey, I'm going to Pennsylvania. And she's like, how long is that going to take you? He's like, 3 hours. And she's like, am I coming? And he's like, well, what are you doing? Cut to them in a plane flying to Pennsylvania. Dude, that moment for me, just having Turner Clay, having the viral video, shifting over to another video, like narratively, we're already there, we're invested. And then jumping in the plane, I was completely hooked. Also, this first movie's only 60 minutes long, and I think that's 20 of them, if I'm not mistaken. I think that's like 15 or 20 minutes in. So, dude, this movie had momentum.
All right, now let's talk about the plane. The plane's very important.
Did you like me put on a hat?
Kentucky to Pennsylvania is not that far, okay? And it takes him 3 hours to fly from Kentucky to Pennsylvania in this dildo with wings he calls a plane.
Now, I don't want to trample on your bit there, but what about the downwind, dude? What if he was going against
downwind? You mean trade wind? You fucking
I don't,
dum-dum?
dude, the trade.
Downwind?
I
We're not
don't,
talking about fucking Formula One racing.
dude, my piloting license went up like 4 years ago. I
No,
forget
but
all the
dude,
lingo.
if he takes him 3 hours to fly 2 states over, and it's a 14-hour drive as he's documented from Kentucky to Florida, which films 3 through 5 take place in, like the plane does not exist in the rest of the
All
movie.
right,
So
Randy,
why is he
who
not flying to Florida? Because if that's a 14-hour drive, then we're looking at least a 12-hour flight
all right,
on
Randy,
that stupid plane.
Randy's got his mic off, but Randy, can you Google Maps the trip, please?
I did.
Look up
Commercial
in
flights.
plane.
Yeah, commercial flights take about 145. So if you're in a little like miniature, like, personal plane, 3 hours might be realistic.
Oh, fact check.
No, I'm not doubting it. I'm just saying it's ridiculous.
Well, I mean, the fact that our ghost hunter just piloted his own plane to Pennsylvania to check out a video he
No,
found in a
for
form.
sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
No, but I mean, I think we start so fucking ridiculous in this first film that when we actually get to the ghost hunting element, it's like, well, what are we gonna get? And
And in the first one, we don't get a lot.
well, it's so mute. It's such a muted touch. Like we
Yeah.
get a lot of lore. We learn that the original resident in the house was I don't remember her name, but she's the titular Blackwell ghost who had
Ruth
murdered. What's her name?
Ruth Blackwell.
Ruth Blackwell, and she had murdered 7 children in this house, and chopped them up and threw them down a well in the basement.
As you do.
Now, I believe it was TBR report number 8 with Curse of Aurora,
Yeah.
where I mentioned how much I loved the quirk of the house where they had the like upstairs shutter, and those little that's what I love about found footage. We're doing the thing that I love with cops, where we're exploring how other people live in kind of like an intimate way that you would never do in Hollywood, unless it was kind of put on a pedestal for part of the narrative. And having a well in your basement that it reeked so bad that they had a custom lid built for it. And then why did they put pliers in it to keep it open?
Yeah, because you can't grip it otherwise.
They were saying it was like, the size, like the weight of a house or something. They were just talking about how heavy it was.
Yeah, I don't know if it was that heavy.
I know. I remember hearing that, and I was like, wait, can't be that heavy.
Well, see, I don't. It's not. It didn't ruin like the suspension of disbelief, or what is that phrase? I don't know.
Yeah,
you got it.
Yeah, it didn't ruin that for me, but it instantly gave me like a challenge that I wanted to take on. I was like, give me that lid. I want to lift that damn thing. And at one point, he does drop it, and a lot of dust comes up. Like the well's like bolted to the floor, that covering they have, and it shifted like it was really heavy. But now, Clark, you say nothing happened there. I actually wrote down the different kind of scares we get in this film. We get we have a ball gag where he puts an X in toilet paper on a table and a ball on it, expecting it to move. It moves.
All right, that's a little misnomer by saying ball gag.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Pardon my choice of words.
Thank you so much.
We get lights turning on and
the
off.
community.
A chandelier moves around. We get a door open. We get my favorite, footsteps. Now, you say nothing happens in this film, but the thing that always made
very little happens. You keep saying you said no thing happens. That's
Okay, well, I want to stop on the footstep thing, because when I first watched Paranormal Activity, I remember being in the theater kind of like, man, that was it, kind of feeling like there wasn't really much here. And then when I went home and all the like noises, all the ambiance of my house started scaring the hell out of me, I had learned that movie actually really worked. Now with the Blackwell Ghost, watching that movie alone, footsteps as like a theme of a haunting, they just really work. And later on in the films, dude, they like were really getting me. And I don't know, you didn't have that reaction? You weren't impressed by any of it?
No, again, I like the first one, but
Yeah.
I was just this is not enough to propel me to move forward, so I did
get it.
not.
Now, I'm only pushing on you there because the other thing that happens when we don't really have much more to chew on than like, I mean, light spoilers throughout this whole thing. The big kind of finale in the first one is that all the water keeps turning on, all the faucets are on, which I thought was interesting because I've never seen a movie that did that.
Well, as a native Californian, it made me cringe.
Oh my god!
And the house starts smoking up too, doesn't it?
Yeah, I believe the oven was on.
Yeah.
And it's now, you know what? I'm glad you mentioned the oven because that's kind of the beauty of these films is he'll kind of touch on a thing and then won't really talk about it or like cover it because now the films are crafted pretty well to where it gives the impression that we get kind of like a candid view of shit before he's actually reviewed the footage and can reflect on it. So a lot of the times the audience is put in the position of knowing first. And these are the kind of things that he gets better at right into like the second film. In the first one, you can feel him, he's kind of feeling it out.
Yeah.
Also, in the first film, he's there with his wife the whole time. And Thomas, I know you're young. Did you ever see MTV Fear?
No. I've seen a lot of that stuff, but I don't think
So it was an early reality TV show where they would bring like 5 people out and they would blindfold them and put them on a bus and they drive them out to a location and they would bring them into like a Resident Evil style safe room. And they're like, hey, you guys are a team. You have a video bay and there's going to be challenges are drawn. And then like 2 of you are going to have to go out there. And they had like chest mounted cameras that were aimed at them and forward. And they would go into like this, they like basically they would just tell them a ghost story and be like, now go into the haunted asylum and do these challenges. And man, he really hit that vibe. Like, since you haven't seen it, check out that show. It's like bizarre reality TV meets like early kind of trying to figure out how to capitalize on the Blair Witch.
Man,
And
that sounds so familiar. I will go check it out because I bet you I've seen something like that, or maybe I've seen that show.
oh, for sure. And I think season 2 ended where they actually fell into legal trouble because the challenges started becoming, hey, go to this jail. Now go into that cell. And then it'd be developing as you're doing it, like in person alone. And then it would be like, now lock yourself in. And it'd be like, okay. And it would be like, wait. And I remember in that last episode, they had people there for like maybe the whole show, which was the whole night. And it turned into a legal problem. Like that could just be like urban legend, me building on something that really made an impact. But the fact that in this movie, they had like the bedroom was a safe room, it totally reminded me of that. Did you ever see Fear, Clark?
No.
Oh,
With
dude,
Mark Wahlberg?
no, that's a different kind of home invasion film. We should watch the MTV Fear though. I think you would dig it.
I
Even
have
though
no
it is
recollection of this. Is it like
like
Are
what?
You Afraid of the Dark?
No. No, it's like a
Is it
game
like
show.
Salute Your Shorts?
It's kind of like Fear Factor, but like found footage
Minus Joe Rogan?
minus Joe Rogan.
That's a bummer.
Well, like the show does a lot of interesting found footage things where like they don't have a host. So like
I wish this show didn't have a host.
if we run too long, it often doesn't. Okay. Anyway, so the dude who owned the Blackwell Ghost house, do you guys believe he really owned that house?
I don't know. I didn't love that guy, to be honest.
I really he's
Can I tell you this? I liked 2. I liked 2 than I liked 1 more. I liked 2 more than I liked 1. But man, can I tell you, this thing took a different direction once we went to Florida.
I understand. We'll get there. I want to touch on them all.
I love Florida.
Okay, shut up. Now the thing, so all of the Blackwell Ghost films, we have a very minimal cast in all of them, and I'm part of the intrigue here is like, are these people real? Like, Thomas, do you believe that guy really owned that house?
Gosh, I kind of do. Like I still question some of this stuff and like whether it's real, you know. But I don't know. There's this like I remember reading this like somebody did like a thesis on the Blackwell Ghost. It's a really interesting read if you can find it, but he like went into the whole like like trying to like prove it was like all just fictional, but yeah, I still question whether or not some of it's real.
Also, fuck that guy. So here's the thing.
I certainly don't think he sold the house. Whether or not he owned it, I don't think he sold it.
No, but I mean, if you're coming into a found footage film and your whole thing is debunking it, then it's not for you. Even if it's a great movie, it's not going to work. Now, this film really worked because I realize now that I am one just completely gullible in life. I believe everything the first time I hear it. But second, I
lie to you all the time.
All the time, and he does. I'm not joking about that. And when I watch a found footage film, I'm just like, I'm buckled up. Like, tell me anything and I'll believe it. And the only reason I even question this dude owning the house is I couldn't imagine him playing that bass that he had on the wall. he's got like a rec room, and our lead Turner even comments like, "Man, you got a cool rec room," and he had like a P bass on the wall, and I'm like, no. He's not playing that shit.
Dude, he looks like a bass player. No offense, Randy.
I got a P bass too.
You got a P bass, dude?
Yeah, man.
Okay, we'll move past there. I mean, I do agree with you, Clark. It's remarkable only for like, the unique flair, like the faucets being on and the plane. And my journey, even though I really like this movie, which I think if you go on the Overlook Theater blog and you put in the Blackwell Ghost, you can find our crappy review there. But I never went for round two. I originally this film was on Prime, and so it was like a free watch. But I believe the minute he made part two, he went under a paywall.
Yeah.
And I was like, damn it. But I was intrigued enough that I kept revisiting it and going like, is tonight the night? But I don't know. You know how I am. I got to have people over to watch it.
Well, you mentioned something earlier that it's like the poster is so kind of like unappealing. It's like an old school, just like a picture. Yeah, it does. But, I guess it's a perfect example of not judging a book by its cover.
Well, and especially because the movie isn't cheap. Whoever Turner Clay really is, he's got like some 4K cameras. He's got a personal plane, and he's
got a wife he neglects.
A wife he neglects. He's got really what we're doing here is he's made like Ghost Adventures, the TV show, and he's brought it over into the film world. Like it's a perfect balancing act between a paranormal activity show. That's confusing, like Taps or like Paranormal State, but it's a movie. Like the continuity's there. Nothing really happens. I mean, we're not watching snuff fiction because it's not like he's going to die at the end. It's a really unique thing. And like,
I think you keep bringing up like the reality sort of like TV show style, because he's one of the only found footage filmmakers that like holds two cameras at once. Like he does like one camera pointed at himself usually, and then like the other one pointed at what's in front of him. Now he's not like, I don't think he has like a head mounted camera unless he's like, riding his motorcycle or whatever. Yeah. But yeah, so I think that's like an interesting style of cinematography that we don't really see in a lot of these movies. And, because like both of his hands are staying busy.
Yeah, and he's pretty chatty too. And because he doesn't have a team with him, he's talking to us the whole time. And I think that's perfect for Amazon Prime because Thomas, I'm sure when you're digging around on Reddit or you're in the Facebook groups, you really like the found footage community is so like fractured, like everybody's their own island. And I think it makes it really easy to watch a film when you got like it's just hanging out with Turner Clay. Like he's just there partying with you, and he's a likable dude. Yeah, and the runtime on that's only an hour. So okay, let's move quicker. I went over to my mom's house, and I knew we were preparing for this episode, so I actually re-met my mom, and it turned into a family event. Actually, my dad came out there, my sisters came home with their boyfriends. I brought Oksana over, and we sat and we watched Blackwell Ghost 2 and 3. Now, to the film's credit, my dad doesn't shut the hell up ever. Clark can attest to this.
Confirmed.
Incredibly annoying. He talks more than I do, and he talks over everybody, kind of like I
That's
do.
up for debate, but continue.
Okay. He just laid there and watched the Blackwell Ghost too. And now in this film, where Turner Clay revisits the location of the first film, having a part of him changed by dealing with what he now considers as a real haunting. And we open up this movie with this new kind of attitude of, hey, if you don't believe me, whatever, nobody believes me. Now I'm out here alone. And it's it turns into a like us against the world kind of thing that I think really works with people. Really quick, wife, not in the movie. Plane shows up a little bit, but then he starts driving to Pennsylvania. What the hell happened there?
No, when he drives to Pennsylvania, he drives with her.
Oh, no, I'm saying she's not in the movie much. In part 2, I believe he just takes a road trip up there, though.
It really is just him in the movie, yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's mostly him, but no. So I think when they drive up there together towards the end, when they find the box, she's with him because they drive up there together.
Yeah.
Then we see him in a car when he's flying by himself. Then he says he gets in the courtesy car from the airport.
Yeah, I didn't like that. It's like, stick to the plane. The car was no, because I don't know. It felt weird. Like I kept.
Did you want him to fly directly to the house? He just fly right on the street.
Land in the driveway. Now, you mentioned the box. How did y'all feel about the like? Okay, so what happens is
I knew immediately what it was while he was still digging around.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Okay.
What
So
else is that gonna be?
quickly, so what happens is he gets mail, and it's somebody who knew Ruth Blackwell, and she's like, "Yeah, I'm in the bad Photoshop picture for your first movie," and we reveal more of that poster, and she's the little girl in it, and we get some personal information. Now, this film's got new gags in it. We got a record. We have Ruth's favorite record that she likes to play.
As a hell of a track too.
Yeah, how did y'all feel about that?
I loved it.
Dude, I don't know. I kept thinking of Insidious, like the who's the SpongeBob guy?
Tiptoe to the window, Tiny Tim. Don't ever call him the SpongeBob guy. You give him some goddamn respect.
Dude, SpongeBob put that dude on the map.
He put himself on the map. Howard Stern put him on the map.
Yeah, okay. So in there's I don't know. All of the films kind of feature interesting out of haunted house shit. And in this movie, he goes and reclaims some of her possessions. He films an abandoned asylum that she once stayed in. And he's like, yeah, the footage was really boring, so I'm not using it. And I really like that stuff because it does world building without wasting any of our time. And so we end up in the house. He's armed with a record player and a record. He also in the beginning of the movie, he addresses the low review scores on IMDb. Now, I don't know how y'all feel. I love it whenever we come back to a found footage sequel and they talk about the internet.
Yeah, me too. I think like Ricky Umberger did like the same thing with the Fear footage too.
Dude.
Right?
Yeah, Ricky featured, I think, YouTube videos in the beginning. Dude, Ricky, he knows how to make a fucking premise. Again, we're talking about the Fear footage guy. But Clark, you don't care about that? I thought you'd have something to say about the low IMDb scores.
I didn't know that was a thing.
Oh, it happens in the beginning of part 2.
Where he talks about the low IMDb scores?
Yeah, because he's like, hey, for everybody saying it was fake, he actually goes back.
Okay, I may have, because, dude, it's sort of, I binge these in pretty quick, rapid succession. So I don't think everything is still in the memory. You know what I mean? I had to
I get it.
Stuff out.
So in the beginning, he brings up that people were saying they caught an inconsistency with the well. And they're like, hey, at the end of the film.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. What did you think of that?
I didn't give a shit.
What's the inconsistency with the well?
They're like, oh, the pliers were back in it after you had pulled them out. Yeah, see, it was such a nothing that you could tell there were like people like combing over the movie looking for something. Basically, what happened is earlier when I was talking about
the best thing that could happen for a movie like this.
Yeah, but do you like when they address it?
Yeah,
Yeah, dude, it's how good is that shit?
it's world building, dude. He knows. I think this guy may be a genius. I
Oh,
don't
for
know.
sure.
I don't know about Raccoon Valley. We'll talk about that in a later show.
Well,
Let's.
it's hard not to compare him to Nigel Bach.
Okay, obviously, like I had that comparison, because you think about how prolific these two guys are. But their approach obviously is wildly different. I think their intentions are wildly different. Um, so tell me the similarities other than both of their prolificness.
Well, just kind of like the form of the story. Like it's a dude alone in a house exploring. And when you use Bad
Yeah, but
Ben,
see, Nigel went like full, you know, he tried to went drama on the second one,
oh, he went like straight
and like
slapstick
and then
comedy.
yeah, and then he turns it to a rideshare slam in seven, which is honestly one of my favorite movies of all time. That
Now,
and Seven, The Haunted Highway,
Yeah.
1,000 stars.
you've seen them all, Thomas?
The Bad Ben, I've seen them all.
See, that's
Can
why
you
we
agree
fucking
that Seven is remarkable?
Um,
The Haunted Highway.
when you were making the comparison about the two, I can see in like the formatting, but I almost feel like in terms of like being a paranormal investigator, that like Nigel, like his movies like stick to I don't know, they stick to like a cliche, like he's campy,
Oh,
but
for sure.
Turner, on the other hand, is like always like trying to like prove, his authenticity with like in a very like subtle way, and I find I just find there like the Blackwell Ghost is like, stands
Oh,
out for Bad Ben, but
yeah, they're tragedy comedy for sure. They are two sides of a coin. The thing is, just with the first film, it felt like filmmakers discovering what the fuck they were doing while they were doing it. It's really interesting. Actually, whoa, somebody just showed up.
Tom Riley's got a car, baby.
He just wanted to say hi, Thomas. You have to put up with this shit when you're going to be on the show. I hope you know we have our hooks in you too. You're not getting away.
no, keep me.
Tom, you're free to move around the cabin. He's the one who holds people hostage.
But it's with love. It's much harder to try and like wiggle away from.
Oh, I love
I've
it.
been trying to wiggle away for 6 years.
Okay, yeah. So we got a treasure map. They kind of like we figure it out really quick. Then we go into a Dexter room. I thought you would have something to say about the
Yeah.
Dexter room, Clark.
I thought I just started laughing when that happened because I was like, all right, you got to open this case. But I mean, when you think about it though, it makes total sense. And from what we know about this guy, it's something he would absolutely do, is to over prepare. Because I mean, that's sort of the theme in a lot of this. And it's getting to more of that the deeper I go. So I've only got 5 left, and I'm hoping we can wrap this up in a decent time so I can watch 5 before I go to bed tonight. But the more like he's getting I think it would be a negative connotation for me to say he's getting cuter, but he's getting more creative and he's getting bolder, like with the speak and spell thing and setting everything up. He's almost got this Rube Goldberg set up for Ghost now. So we see that progression happen. So the fact that and just think about him, making this movie and how he's continue to market it. He's not making interviews regularly, so it makes total sense that he would just prepare his mind would just be set to, visqueen this entire area so that he can open up a safety deposit box that's filled with ground beef.
Now, in oh man, you touched on a thing that I struck me too, and it's not that he was over prepared, but I feel like there's a arc here that he's paying attention to where our lead is kind of it's one of those things where it's you look into the abyss and the abyss looks back into you, and I felt like our lead was changed into Like it's nothing crazy, but there was like a little sinister tilt. And we do start to ignore our wife here. And you really feel it in the movie because when he's staying at the house alone, I mean, why? I found myself, I'm like, why would you do this alone? Now, the gags in part 2 at the end I was actually pretty impressed by the chair gag. I don't know, Thomas, is that an easy thing to pull off? Now, it looks easy, but I should mention there is a rug under that table.
I don't think the way he did it was very easy. It wasn't like 4 chairs moving all at once.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was cool. I thought that was
2 of them just tipped, and then 2 of them got pulled different directions. And now, again, I was watching this with my family. Everyone's like, "Oh yeah, there's strings," and I'm like, I don't know. I feel like if you're going to do anything like that, you don't use a string because it would clearly look like it.
And yeah, they all moved like the same. Like they all moved the same.
Yeah,
with the motion. Yeah, that's not
clean.
a string. Yeah, very clean.
Now, another big thing in 2, he's not sleeping in the bedroom anymore. And he has a theory that it's like a safe room because it was an add-on. Now he's sleeping down in the front room. I've slept in a house where my friends had all moved out and they had a mattress in the middle of their front room. Nothing happened in that house. It was freaking terrifying though. There's something about a lot of like a building built to hold a lot of people, but you're alone in it and trying to like sleep. Dude,
Yeah, tell Quasimodo that, dude.
Dude, I had a hard time watching him just on the couch. And then we get that one scare where the door opened. I don't know, man. It's giving me like chills thinking about it.
I like that part too. Yeah. And he's like he's in the living room where, he's exposed to every, corner. And it's just like anything could happen from any, in a bedroom, you're just enclosed by your walls. So like, yeah, it was just, it's totally freaky.
Well, this idiot, he always sleeps with his head towards the doorway. Like, first, he never shuts a damn door. Every house he sleeps in, all the doors are wide open. And then he'll always lay head towards hallway. Dude, it drives me crazy. Anyway, now the version I watched 2 days ago, there was added footage in the end. Is that in the regular Blackwell Ghost too?
I know there's something that you rent that isn't like part of it. Are you talking about like some kind of like special 20-minute like
yeah
add-on?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, and it's like he talks about how the footage was originally corrupted, and then after the release of the second one, he like was able to recover it, right?
Okay, so you basically confirmed what I thought. It looks like he added that after Blackwell Ghost 2 was uploaded as like extra shit. But now if you go on Amazon Prime and try and watch it, you can't. But if you watch Blackwell Ghost 2, he's just added it into the movie.
Nice.
So it goes to credits and then he prompts it and then it plays and it's just, I think it's some of the footage of the asylum.
Yeah.
But that kind of interaction with the streaming service and with the like footage, dude, it rings true. Like when I saw that added thing and then I went and tried to watch it and it was like, oh, just trailer. I don't know. I got like, I felt like I started taking the drug and I'm like, dude, I'm like QAnon now. I'm starting to believe like Turner Clay's real.
Yeah. Well, should we get into the third one? Because that, like, I know off air I said the fourth one was my favorite, but man, you know what? I meant to say the third one because that's like the start of the Lightfoot killer.
Oh, dude.
The Lori Lightfoot killer.
The Lori Lightfoot killer. All right, Clark, you want to set up the third one?
Okay, well, we didn't close the second one. So the second one, he's in the Dexter room. He's got the safety deposit box. It's full of ground beef that he calls mud. But dude, how much? I mean, that looked like it was taco night at that house. That was full of ground beef and human teeth. And you guys didn't know?
Didn't know what?
Like teeth. That wasn't your first instinct?
No, yeah. When I saw the white little pebbles, I was like, oh, teeth.
I was like, yeah, 100% teeth.
It was very reminiscent of Taco Bell in general.
Yeah, and the fact that like, I'm like, dude, are you going to say something about the teeth? Because it's clearly teeth.
That's a cool moment because he's just like the point he figures it out. Like, he doesn't just, blatantly disclose what it is. It's like this like 10 or 20 second moment of silence.
Oh, And then it keeps building for sure because he does that in the rest of the movies. Dude, he can sell a scare like no one. And my favorite thing is I think so it's in 3. So again, we'll set up 3, but 3 of how when 3 is just there, he's in this house and there's just constant banging, and when he just doesn't know what to do and he's just scared, he just goes and sits down in a chair and just goes like,
I think at one point he's like checking his blood pressure.
Yeah. It's just, man, his acting is really good and he really sells it. Well, it's just very natural.
I think he understands you don't want to make a scripted found footage movie, and you really need to anchor your storytelling in reality. And in the movie, I don't know if he's a great actor, and by the movie I mean all of them, but he can dig into real emotions. And there are times when he looks like his eyes aren't lying. He looks terrified. Oh, yeah. And I think that might be why his wife was removed from the following films. It's like, if I'm going to make this thing, leave me alone. And I'm going to... okay, I'm going to jump ahead now. In part 3, he mentions that, his worst enemy is his imagination. And I'm like, dude, I've been saying that forever. Because you tell me a dumb ghost story and leave me in like, I don't know, the garage, I'll like freak out. I'll build myself up to a panic. And these movies, like I think he really does that every time. So I don't know. Is there anything else you want to say about 2? I mean, one thing we should say is it's up to 84 minutes now with that added footage.
Yeah. So I mean, 2, he pretty much closes the chapter because the guy sells the house, and we don't know where we're going from there.
Also, the guy doesn't show back up in the movie.
Also, nothing happens with the teeth. It's just, we got children's teeth now.
Which in part 3, he makes mention of.
Yeah. So 3 starts off, he's saying that, he had a recurring dream of a girl, and then he found out that girl was a missing girl in Florida. So now he's gone to Florida because he found out that missing girl was murdered by a serial killer, and that serial killer is now the mayor of Chicago, Lori Lightfoot.
Dude, now, for anybody who hasn't seen that movie, the amount of detail and like nuance in that storytelling and kind of like allowing the audience to come and discover everything Clark just kind of yada 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 over should not be like remiss. It is really good storytelling, because you're right, it's a lot of exposition and he crams it in early. And there's even a scene where it was almost jarring. It was like B-roll for another movie, where he's in the front room and he's looking at a picture, and it's like he talks about taking the painting of the boat from the first house, because now he feels like a void in him, and he kind of feels locked out from the only real paranormal activity he's aware of. And the chain of events that lead him to the scariest house in Florida is kind of remarkable. But
dude, that house,
dude, please describe it.
Here's the reason why. All right, so the first house, the Ruth Blackwell house, it's in like a nice neighborhood. It's in somewhere in Pennsylvania.
Yeah,
and the inside is just looks like a classic old home. It's got a creepy basement, so everything is pretty standard, right? This house is a small. I'm gonna say it has to be less than 1,500 square feet house in Florida. It's on like sort of a oxbow lake or a finger lake situation, where it just looks like a very, very slow river, but it is a lake.
Now, hold on. I need to stop you there, because you just casually kind of mentioned that, where me, somebody who's never left the empire of California, when he goes in the front room and pulls the curtain open, and it looks like you could step into a body of water.
It's right there.
My jaw dropped.
Oh yeah, it's a crazy place. And I love how, like, man, he hit a home run with that location. Again, I don't know, like, I would love to know his methods of finding all this stuff, but man, that location is a perfect backdrop for the horrors, the proposed horrors that happened at that house.
Now, it's perfect, but not in a way you would think. Nothing about that house reads as haunted. There is
terrifying.
Yeah, there's not a cliche there's not a cobweb. It looks like it was an Airbnb that is
Now-
very clean.
Here's what I'll say. Yes, it is a cliche. Now, here's why. Here's why I'll say that. Is because that house is so like trashy, panhandle Florida-y, like Gulf Coast. Like it like if you could have ripped it out of like any cookie cutter beach house in that area of Florida. And it's also got this very like outdated 70s retro vibe to it, which has its own horror as far as I'm
For
concerned.
sure.
And
But I mean, it doesn't read
works so
like
perfectly.
it's very far from the Amityville horror house. Also, it had a teal toilet. I should have pulled a clip of that.
And we never see the teal toilet again.
No. And you know, it's funny, by the time I was watching the fourth one, I was starting to think like he must have been using that teal toilet. Now,
Yeah.
the scariest feature of this fucking house, which is the reason I showed Boots on the Ground at 1. Did you ever see that movie, Thomas?
Yeah, a long time ago.
Or as I like to call it, the Tony Blair Witch Project. Thank you very much.
That's a deep cut joke. Now, Boots on the Ground is, it's a military troop exploring a building and with flashlights. That's the whole movie. But there's one of the things I love about found footage exploration where we have like a long hallway with a lot of open doors. And that is the Blackwell Ghost 3. There's a camera that is set against the far exterior wall, looking all the way the run of the house down into a kind of like crooked doorway. Like the uneasy angle doesn't help. And the whole goddamn movie, I was staring down there expecting to see like a shape. And I know a couple of times Oksana's like, is somebody standing down there? And I'm like, I don't see anything. Dude, it was terrifying.
Yeah.
That was good.
That's it. That's it out of you guys. That hallway, I'll tell you now.
Didn't even go into the bedrooms in the third movie, I don't think. Like, you see him walk in there like once in the fourth.
Well,
he's really just in that living area, and they got like, he's got just like that one wide camera angle, like you said, set up. It's really creepy.
Yeah, now I'll tell you. I know you two are worldly men. I think, Thomas, you recently went to Florida.
I did.
You know what terrified me was when I saw that water. Oksana read my mind and she's like, oh God, are there alligators there?
Right.
And I'm like, there'd have to be, right?
It's Florida.
Yeah.
So the things that really make these movies for me is like him filming himself walking over to the boat and being like, I was going to get in the boat. And then I noticed that snake. And he just shows like, to me, I'm like, go home now. Like, I want to go to Florida so bad. It looked like that location looked beautiful.
Yeah,
You don't want to go to Florida, dude.
Well, I mean, I say that having never been. I'm sure the heat and the animals would convince me never to return.
Well, frankly, there's no more animals except for pythons because they're eating everything else down there. It's a fucking shit show.
Now, the scares in part 3 take a very different. One, he drives there. He retires the plane. Why didn't he fly to Florida?
I have no idea. It's driving me crazy.
Also, again, to call back to Curse of Aurora, the film you recommended before, Thomas, I love it when we're in a found footage film like The Triangle, where we get a road trip. I think that mise-en-scène, like you really got to sneak in the visual storytelling in a found footage film. And the road trip really makes you feel like you're alone, like you're driving deeper and deeper into isolation. And in this film, I really believed it. Like do you guys believe he was like miles away in some weird little, I don't know, swamp hovel? I don't know what the hell.
I did, yeah, because there's like one point, and I don't know if it's the third or the fourth one, but like he actually gets so freaked out that he like spends the night in his car or something, and he's like driving down just like a long like like middle of nowhere, like in the like woods area, like there's just nothing around him.
That's the third one, I think.
It's both. He does it in both, yeah, because there's a shot he revisits.
Yeah, but we don't see him though.
Yeah,
we don't see him in the car, but yeah, we assume. Yeah, that's right.
Is it the movie where the phone calls start coming in?
Yep,
in the third, yeah.
Now the phone calls, I believe, happened every night at 2:47 a.m.
Yeah,
and you get kind of exactly what you would imagine, kind of like, and that's pretty creepy.
But every single time that phone rings, I just
You know
Tip.
what got me? You should call part 3 and 4 the knocking. There's just knocking.
Nonstop.
And I'll tell you, it terrified me from beginning to end in both films. I'm like, if I was laying in bed reading a book and I'm home alone and I hear knocking, I don't know what is more simple a noise to like misinterpret, but also it implies something. And like in that film, it was knocking at the back door, and it was down the hallway around a corner.
And it gets louder, like almost like the ghost is pissed off that he's not
Yeah.
communicating properly.
And so then he just goes and sits on the couch and puts his hands on his head and just chills.
And
does he bring in those that EVP device in the third one as well, or
the fourth one.
The fourth one?
The fourth one. Okay.
So in the third one, he kind of shows up there with he's really looking for a purpose in life. He brings some like Scrabble letters and a bunch of cameras, and he's just kind of like, please give me something. Like he shows up almost angry.
Well, purpose plays a big theme in this whole thing.
Yeah.
He brings up purpose a good bit. And I think that that plays a huge part in it. But I don't want us to gleam over my favorite part of 3. And that's a character that is introduced.
Oh, is it Joe Lightfoot?
Yeah.
I'll tell you, Clark, when he showed up on screen, now again, in every Blackwell Ghost, we get like one new character, maybe. And they're usually on off location, and it's kind of a traditional documentary setup. In this one, Joe Lightfoot looks like he just got done doing heroin and only agreed to do this interview because he gave him a 40. And he says shit like...
And he just got done cutting grass.
Dude, he's like, I ain't going in that house. And he's like, I knew it was a girl because when I saw her hanging in the closet, I looked down and her head was looking up at me. And you're like, what the fuck are you... I almost pulled clips. If I had time before, I was gonna pull that one for you.
Well, that dude is poetic, and then he starts pulling out poems.
Oh, dude, I love the poems.
Well, I think
the poems.
He's a self-described craftsman and poet.
Man, I love the poems. And
I think he was reading poetry or he was reciting poetry while drinking High Gravity.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, I maybe got a little emotional.
Dude,
it worked perfectly. I loved it.
You know what the worst part of it was? I couldn't figure it out. I'm like, is that an actor? He felt fucking real to me.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, man. Dude,
okay.
Three is honestly one of my favorite found footage movies of all time.
Dude,
three is incredible.
Well, the thing is, now we were making fun of it earlier. It's got the same dumb poster. We still have Ruth Blackwell on there. So when you come into it, you're like, well,
I'm sick of that bitch.
Well, it's like, what are we doing? Like the house is gone, and it felt very like the book was closed on it. And then he switches it up. Instead of going north, we're going south. We're way the fuck remote. His wife's not in it at all. And there's almost like a background story where you think they're like divorced. I don't know if I was the only one, but I'm like, did they like they had a phone conversation, but I believe no, I'm confabulating 4.
No, but you're right. It's a theme throughout the whole series because honestly, I'm still debating: is it the same woman? Did he change wives? Because it's just like she just fell out completely, and it is a little strange. But now in 4, it's he's sort of addressed it because now they're having issues and they're talking about he wanted her to come down because he's freaking out in the house. And then she's like, you forgot that tomorrow's my sister's wedding, you stupid little asshole.
Yeah.
Like, oh, well, can you tell her that you've got something important to do? And she's like, it's my sister, you idiot.
Oh, there's a great moment in 3, too, where, so the location in Florida is supposed to be where one of the girls was murdered by the Lightfoot killer.
I think it was all the girls.
Well, I think at that one he was only looking for Sarah, I think was her name.
He was looking, but I think that was the murder site for all the girls.
Yeah, and well, he goes in the tool shed and he's like, I found the murder axe. And he's like, I know what you're thinking. It's just an axe. whatever. And he's like, nope, the evidence tag is on it. And he moves it, and it's now in my mind, I'm like, that's a prop, and he tied a thing there. But it is such an accurate illustration of like a shitty judicial system where it's like, why would this murder weapon end up back at the house? And it only read as 100% true to me.
Yeah.
Me too. I
yeah.
mean, he does really good with like case research. You know, when he's talking to the law enforcement, and like, I don't want to spoil the fifth one, but like, you know,
we haven't seen it. Don't you dare spoil that.
Don't you do it.
Oh my God, I felt you were about to too. Now, I don't know. So in 3, you know, we're in a new location. Everything is different. We don't know what to expect. And, you know, Clark was lamenting the first one a lot for kind of like not much happening. Yet I feel like in 3,
that up.
I feel like in 3, it's a similar thing though. Like not a lot happens, but the character's taken like a dark turn. He's looking for life.
So much happens in 3, dude.
I agree, Clark. I think a lot happens. Like, you know, doesn't the table like there's like a really intense like jump scare moment where like the table freaking flips, and then you think that's it, but then like come the end of the Blackwell Ghost 3, you find out that those little Scrabble chips that he had on the table like spelled out.
That's 4.
Oh shit!
Yeah, look at you.
No, it's not.
Yeah,
no, it's not. No, it's not. No, it's not.
It is.
No, it's not.
Because what you're talking about is the cipher, and it's revealed by the yak back.
No.
I thought this was the 3, maybe.
No. At the very end of 3, it ends with the table flipping over, and then he sees a Scrabble, and it says "Help us."
Oh, that's right.
3. Thank you very much. I just watched 4 before this started. I am a Blackwell Ghost expert.
No, I'll tell me. So with 3 and 4, the Florida edition, me and Oksana watched them downstairs, and as you can see, Thomas, Clark's in Arizona still. And man, those movies were like, they were scaring me. I went upstairs to use the bathroom at one point, and I turned the light on in our room, and I knew Oksana would go up there later, and I was gonna ask her like, "Hey, did you turn that on?" And I felt so bad just because like the tension, like these movies were working. Clark, dude, you were watching these in a hotel room. How was that?
Bro, let me tell you something. This scratched an itch. So I watched 3, and then I watched 4, and then I was like, do I want to? No, wait. I watched 2, then I watched 3 last night. I was like, oh, do I want to watch 4? I can watch it tomorrow. And then I thought, well, let's watch Mission Impossible 2. We don't have to get into why I wanted to watch Mission Impossible 2, because I watched Mission Impossible 1 on the airplane. So I was going to watch 2. But then I decided to go on to YouTube and watch. I just typed in.
Oh, no.
I typed in creepiest videos ever. Like a fucking 10-year-old.
What'd you get?
I gotta send you the one I showed, because I decided to like scroll for like 15 seconds because I wanted to get weird stuff.
Yeah.
And then I still found one that was hacky, but it's like clearly these videos were faked. But I'm like, there's some skill here. So I'll send you that video because it's pretty entertaining. It's fake as shit, but it's fun.
Yeah. And
so I was watching, dude, I was chasing the scary dragon, dude.
So, you know, we do a podcast and we talk to filmmakers. And while watching these, were you thinking about Turner Clay? Like, would you talk to him, Clark?
Turner Clay Sick Movies?
Yeah.
Randy? Yeah.
Randy, okay.
All right, what was your question? I'm sorry.
I'm like, so I was thinking about like trying to reach out to the dude and talk to him. And I honestly, I don't think I want to.
Dude, he doesn't want to talk. Terry Gross has tried to talk to him. Marin's tried to get him. Rogan.
Marin. Yeah, he's turning them all down.
Yeah, man.
But I was thinking, you know, we got a little bit in. We're the found footage guys now. We teamed up with Thomas Burke. Everybody knows us. We're popular.
You want to try?
No, I don't. That's the thing. Like, this movie has hooked me in a way where the verisimilitude is really like, I'm seeing double vision here. I can't tell what's real, what's not.
What are you, foreigner?
Oh yeah. Dude, I don't know. I'm having so much fun with these.
Well said. Me too, man, because like you can't buy these, you can't, you know, I emailed the contact us forum like years ago when like on the blackwellghost.com, because I wanted to buy 1 through 3, I think it was, and you know, he didn't get back. He's like shooting these things consecutively.
Yeah.
So all respect to him staying busy in the work and all that, but you can't buy these on DVD. And so if you want to watch them again, like I do, I just keep renting them.
Yeah, I bought them digitally last night. I'm like, who the fuck am I kidding? Like, I think right now for rent it's like $4.99, and to buy them's like $10.99.
Yeah, the prices jump up. I think 2 is cheaper than
It's 10. Yeah,
the rest.
it goes from 10 to $10.99.
Yeah, because it's like $2.99, then the rest are $4.99 for rental.
Yeah.
I debated buying them as well.
Well, okay. I mean,
After 2, I was like, okay, 2 is better than 1, and then 3 is like, whoa, 3 is
Yeah.
awesome. And then
3's
I
next
just watched
level.
4. I really like 4, and I'm looking forward to 5. So is there going to be a 6?
Yeah, I think so. And I saw something on social media, like where he's posted, like he's doing his investigation right now. But
Okay, now Thomas, I will ask this question. I would ask that you answer this very carefully. But is there closure in 5?
there is a little bit of closure, yeah, like to the banging that we
Yeah.
see in 3
Oh
and 4.
my God.
That just keeps going the entire time in 5 as well. But like they finally start, like he starts like really tuning into it and picking up like where it's coming from, what the purpose of it is, and yeah, there is a little closure to it at the end of 5.
That's great, because I'm telling you, I really think everything is played out very smart so far. Like everything has been worth it. There's we sort of get these slow build ups, but there's a decent payoff, and I like how it's structured. And man, it's just fun. It's just well done. I like him.
I want to have a beer with him.
Yeah, man, he's great.
Now, okay. I mean, 3 ends, he finds purpose. And in 4, there's really only one thing I wanted to ask you guys about, and it's kind of towards the end. Do you think that's worth putting on this show? Or should we just like tease it? I mean, here's the thing. The covers of these movies look dumb as hell. They look boring. They're really good. And the whole, like, I don't know, that feel you get from that Blackwell Ghost cover, that like old library book look, it really does not represent what these films are accurately.
Yeah.
And if you're down for that kind of like that ARG thing that I've been talking about, that like negotiating and understanding it's fake but wanting it to be real, this may be the best franchise for it. And structurally, if you're building a movie, he's only got the first 2 acts of a ghost story. There's no third act in his movie. And I think it's really cool. Like, because think of any ghost story, any haunted house movie. The third act is where you decide, did I like or hate this movie? And it usually depends on what did I imagine the ghost to be and how close to it was it? Because when it's completely different, you turn your back on the film and you're like, oh, that was dumb. It should have been blank. But in these films, you're kind of like, you have that room to build, because as far as I've seen through 4, he hasn't put anything in stone yet. Yeah. Now,
I think my favorite thing about this is that he is a filmmaker, right? If this had been a story about a YouTuber or a vlogger, like, get out of here. I would not have hung around that long for this, because it's everything structured. Russell, I immediately thought of a movie that we watched on Sunday, that we can't talk about. But you know what I mean? Like, had that guy from that movie we watched on Sunday
oh yeah,
been the focal point of this,
yeah.
we certainly wouldn't have gotten to 5 movies.
Well,
Did
you see Turner Clay's first found footage movie, the Phoenix Tapes '97?
Oh, I didn't realize that was him.
That's
He
him?
acts in it. Yeah, he's like, I had to check back again, but like he acts in it too. It's an alien found footage movie, like in the desert.
Sorry, I'm looking it up.
Russell, is that the one we saw at Another Hole in the Head?
I don't think it is. That's why I'm looking it up.
Because
But you know what? I have a damn prop from the movie. All right, you know what? Keep talking. I'm gonna go find that boomerang and see if it's that movie.
Oh, I traded you that boomerang. What did I trade that boomerang for? I don't remember. It was good. But yeah, I feel like maybe we did see that movie. Was it good?
I remember liking it. Yeah.
Was it a bunch of people camping in the desert?
Yeah, just a bunch of boys being boys.
Dude, I think we saw the movie.
Okay, so the question was, is what is it, Phoenix 97?
The Phoenix Tapes 97.
Yeah. Did we see that at the Another Hole in the Head Fest, which is the Bay Area's horror convention or like film fest? The answer is no.
Oh,
Right here, I'm holding the prop from the movie. It's actually the Phoenix Incident.
that's it.
This movie is dumb.
Yeah.
There's a lot of CG aliens and shit going on. But dude,
Is that the one with the eye, like the camera is like implanted like camera like in his eye or something? Is that the Phoenix?
oh, I don't know. It might be.
I don't remember
The
that.
only eye implant I remember is VHS in part 2. Was that
No,
part
I
2?
think I have it mixed up. I have it mixed up with something else that I'm thinking of.
Well, you've seen
All of it.
10,000 found footage movies. What do you expect?
Right?
But dude, are you jealous of my prop?
No, that's badass.
It's a boomerang shaped like the UFO, or the Phoenix Lights. You see under it?
Oh, nice.
How dumb is this? This is my favorite thing. I believe I traded Clark like a hat for it.
Yeah, I was it the Purge hat maybe?
Oh, I did. I traded you a Purge hat for the Phoenix Tapes
That's a fair trade.
boomerang.
I was at an antique store in somewhere here in Texas like a couple of months ago, and I found like a Blair Witch like it was like one of those old school bags of popcorn, you know, with like the long handle or whatever. But it was like the Blair Witch Project.
And you bought it, right?
No.
What the fuck?
I was walking around all day. I can't buy something to walk around all day with it, you know.
See, that's fair. That's a reasonable guy.
You have 1,000 movies on your letterbox that are all found footage, and you couldn't get the goddamn little popcorn bag?
No, you're right. I probably should have. I mean, I collect all that movie memorabilia stuff too. You know, I spend a lot of money on that stuff, so you know, I'm always questioning whether or not to buy things.
All right, what's going on with you? I feel like we found a dark side of Thomas here. What are you doing? Were you out there with the girl? You don't want to be seen with your Blair Witch bag?
I don't know. Maybe it was like okay. It was like $30 or something like that.
Okay.
I didn't know if it was worth the $30.
Now, you did say antique store, and I'm like, oh my god, they might be trying to buy a pay off the mortgage with their Blair Witch bag, but who knows? Well, fuck. I feel like we shouldn't go into the fourth. I love these films so much. I just want people to watch them. I did want to ask you about like how you guys felt about I'm just gonna say it. He digs up a body.
Yeah.
How'd you feel about that? It felt like pointedly different. Like, one, it looked good. Like it didn't look dumb. But also
I think it had to happen, right?
But I mean, now we're getting in the realm of like practical effect. I don't know. Thomas, how'd you feel about it?
I dug it. Yeah, like you said, it's
no pun intended.
It was like it was realistic, you know. I thought it was good.
I mean, plus, like, we had to go there. Like, we had to have some sort of resolution. Because, like, that dude went through a fucking shitstorm. His pregnant wife hates him. Like,
you are projecting their bad relationship all over.
That was not a nice little chat they had on the phone.
Yeah, well, he spent their vacation money.
He left his wife pregnant in Kentucky that could, break water at any given day. Then he asked her to come babysit him in Florida and skip her sister's wedding.
I know.
Yeah, come on, dude. Like,
very Nigel Bach of him.
Yeah.
I don't know.
You all know Nigel is never getting married.
Now, I'll tell you, if there was one moment in the 4 films I watched that like rang as you're lying and I don't buy it, was the bank account. I'm like, dude, earlier in that movie, he mentioned that Blackwell Ghost 1 had been watched like over 1 million times. Yeah. And I'm like, now I've talked to enough indie filmmakers to know you don't make much off of Amazon Prime, but I don't think he's making one movie a year because he's not making anything. And I don't think $7,000 is really going to, put a heavy crack in their drywall of a
Dude,
relationship.
you're projecting. You don't know what life in America's like, dude.
Did you see their fucking house?
It's Kentucky money.
He's got a Kentucky mansion.
Nah, it's Kentucky, dude. You can get real estate for like almost downtown Detroit money, dude.
All right. Well, it was fun hanging out here and bullshitting about the Blackwell Ghost. Thomas, do you got any critiques for us about the TBR report? Anything you want less of, more of?
Oh no, y'all are killing it. I love tuning in.
Come on, give me something. Also, I'll tell you now, just to be fair, for people listening too, like it's clear I love Thomas, and the movies he recommends, like early on, you told me that you were telling the filmmakers about it too. And I remember it put me in a weird position because I'm like, well, fuck, what if I don't like them? And, early on, it's like, I mean, God, we've been talking to people forever on this show and I've never worried about it, but this was weird and unique. And mainly because we do a film fest that's found footage, but I haven't lied about anything on there. And I believe you even challenged me with what I asked, which was the boring film. What was that one called? It was the dude's screen name.
Alistair 1918?
Yeah. And man, I think I'm really just in love with the format. Because even that film, man, like there's one movie called The Upper Footage, which kind of haunts me as trying too hard and being truly boring. Have you ever seen that one?
Yeah, I have.
Yeah, that's the film where the camera's on the floor and it literally will film like a wall for 45 minutes in pursuit of verisimilitude. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
It's bad. Clark, you would get violent over that film.
You don't know what I like, dude.
Do you like the TBR report?
Hit and miss. I couldn't hang in there with Pets Cop. I appreciate Pets Cop. I just couldn't do it.
Yeah, I don't even know if I totally understand that, but it was just so unique.
You know? 100%. No, I look, I can't be more excited it exists, but like, I'm good. I'm good. I'm good.
Well, here, I mean, should we talk shop on this thing? Because our boy, our homie, do you know what I'm talking about, Clark? I'm tiptoeing very poorly. We got a submission of a short that's very Pets Cop, but an N64 game.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Oh shit, I forgot. You haven't really been in the submissions yet.
That's right, I'm at the game.
You're missing out. I'm telling Thomas, man, I've been thinking about, could we show Pets Cop? And Clark, even though he's out of the game, has just been yelling no.
I'm back in the game.
But I just heard, this just in, he's out of the game. So
it's gonna be like 4 hours. What are you talking about?
It's really long.
What the fuck? You're supposed to be my goddamn cheerleader, Thomas. Don't side with Clark.
I don't know. That thing's not for everybody, though. I feel like there's probably a lot of people that aren't gonna understand what the hell that is.
We're better off showing all of the Blackwell Ghosts back to back.
All right, wishful thinking.
The same runtime.
Dude, I don't know. Blackwell Ghost. It's weird because it's just Amazon Prime property.
I don't know, man. I feel saddened that I've been sleeping on this, and I love this. I love the Blackwell Ghost.
Now, Randy, who's a trooper, has been here engineering the whole show. Do you think it would work for him in any way? Do you think Randy's capable of fear?
I think Randy could have a go with this. Again, I'll tell you, one's my least favorite.
Randy, you willing?
There's nothing wrong with one.
I don't know. Not really. Once you invoked Nigel Bach, I was out.
Well, no, I don't
think that was a fair comparison.
It's only a comparison in the way that it's like a middle-aged white guy who's one's bald and one's balding, and they have a camera and a dream, and they both make it come true. Just one is a filmmaker and one's Nigel Bach.
One's a comedic genius.
I don't know. I think I'd be more like Clark if the first one didn't do anything for me. I would probably just be out
of the closet.
And
It's
we
like
would all celebrate.
people say like TV shows, you gotta like, oh, it gets good in the 4th episode. It's like I don't want it. I want it to get good in the 1st episode. You know?
Yeah,
Well, to be fair, the first one is good. It's just when looking at the covers and looking at how they're all titled 1, 2, 3, 4, you don't expect them to get better, and they do. I right now if I were to be, I think I would go 3, 2, 4, 1. I'm not a huge fan of 4.
Oh, I like 4.
All right, what is it for you?
3, 4, 2, 1.
3, 4, 2, 1.
Yeah, you know what? I watched them in chronological order. That might have made me a little bit recency biased, and then because I'm a contrarian, I had to bury 4. No pun.
But I like the 5th one a lot. Like I'll say like this, like the 3rd one's my favorite, but then I'll put 3, 5, 4, 2, 1.
All right.
Oh, okay.
All right. I'm ready. Ready for 5, baby.
Hell yeah.
All right. I've got a production down in our front room going on, so I can't watch it. Actually, maybe I'll try and watch it tonight. Well, Thomas, you got any hints for what to expect in the future TBRs?
A couple screeners, like a couple new films I was thinking of recommending. Yeah, I have this whole list, and I'm discovering new found footage movies every day. That's why I'm watching like 4 or 5. But you know, a lot of them are on YouTube, or I've learned that if you can find the for like international films, if you can find the original title name, a lot of the times these are just posted on YouTube. Like after, years after they're released or whatever.
I'm telling you, we need to get our heads together and make a distribution company. We'll start putting out all this shit because people have been sleeping on Descent into Darkness, Be My Cat. Like there's so many good foreign ones.
Babe, but
what?
Look, like we are the biggest advocates for that movie, but the world's for Descent into Darkness, but the world will never be ready for that movie.
I don't know.
I just, Russ, I mean, we're almost immune to it, but that movie is fucked.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
It is.
Like, like when we showed it again for the 19th fucking time, every event we do, we always show it. And I'm fine with it, but I think I finally had to talk with you this year. Like, can we be done with this?
You make it sound like we show it at the film fest every year, and we don't.
Russell, we've shown it 4 times.
3.
Russell, we've shown it 3 times.
We showed it one time as the festival proper, one time as a standalone because of rebranding, because Thomas's boy's a robot and a maniac. And I'm talking about Michael Steinberg. And the 3rd time was at F24, which every time more people see it and it does better. As the world descends into darkness, I think the film will have its day soon.
Yeah. I don't know, man. Because it still hits me, though. It still hits.
Well, Thomas, dude, thanks for hanging out. I've been looking for an excuse to just, steal your time, and expect to hear more, because as we start ramping up F5, I'm going to be bugging you.
Oh yeah, please do, and thanks for having me. I love doing this.
Good, because I know you're a busy man, and I demand at least a little bit of your time every week.
This is what I like keeping my time busy with.
All right, well, let's fucking end it then.
Well, Todd, thanks again, bud.
Hey, thanks, guys.
Yeah, man.
This concludes